See my favorite colors.
G'day, Black Pumas.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hey,
Where are you guys right now?
Austin, Texas. I'm
Austin,
on the east
Texas.
side.
Hell yeah, home for you.
Oh yeah.
It has been an absolutely crazy year for you guys. And I just want to quickly list back some of your achievements to you guys from the past 12 months. First of all, you released your deluxe edition of Black Pumas. President Joe Biden asked you to play at his inauguration. Pretty much every late night TV show had you on to perform. Your music featured in a Super Bowl ad. You recently performed at the Grammys after your 3 nominations. And just this week, you were named the #1 spot on Billboard's Emerging Artist chart. Huge.
Yeah. How you feeling, Q? I'm pretty stoked, man. I don't even know where to start.
I know it's wild. It really is.
Did you guys expect this when you started the band 4 years ago?
I mean, I think that we always had like the idea in mind that because the music was moving us to have a really great time together, and just how we felt that we were encouraged to that degree that people would follow suit. So I don't think that either of us would have imagined, being asked to record and perform for Joe Biden, and let alone be acknowledged at the Grammys the way that we have. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm over the heels about it. It's I want to fly to Australia right now and throw some shrimps on the Barbie and celebrate right now with you guys.
Hey, I'll hook you up. Let's do it. When you come over, we'll make it happen.
All right, we'll get on the plane tomorrow. We'll be there. Yeah, I think we have to quarantine for 2 weeks though, right? To go in there is what I heard.
Yeah, that is correct. You definitely will. But as soon as you get out, there'll be a big shrimp on the Barbie celebration.
All right.
Oh wow, let's go. To be real, I think that Adrian has obviously he's been in the music industry a bit longer than I have, and I'm coming out of but he's still seen like his struggles and fair share of kind of pushback from the music industry in what he reciprocates. And for me, it's like, if you can imagine, performing on the Santa Monica Pier, getting there super early in the morning after like 3 buses and a couple of trains, probably a little bit hungry, to try to make some money to, eat a really good lunch by the middle of the day, to then potentially make more money by the end of it. To this kind of thing, it's like, it's been so breathtaking for me. And I always like, I'm always like holding myself back with my excitement as it pertains to like talking to Adrian about it. Cause like, to me, he's like, when I first met Adrian, I was like, dang, like everyone knows about this guy around here. I didn't even know Adrian. I didn't realize he was kind of like a hometown hero. And, but he tells me, he's like, nah, dude, like, I haven't experienced a lot of what we're experiencing right now. This is a first for me too. So with that, it's just like, I think the music is going to be reflective as such, like moving forward as well. So yeah, we're excited.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, Adrian, you wouldn't have had a beer named after you prior to this project, right?
No, right. That's the climax of our career. But no, just to kind of touch on that, like, I think we're both driven and confident, in what we do. So I think when we first started, I mean, I imagined like, okay, this is going to be dope. This is going to be successful. But I mean, it's at this point, it's just, everything is a new thing for us, and trying to like just take it in stride and not take it for granted. Because it's funny, yesterday we went and picked up these packages that the Grammys sent us, and it was just this ridiculous box with just the craziest gifts you can imagine. Everything from Ruffles potato chips to like nice bottles of booze to a record player to whatever, all these things. And it was so absurd and so much stuff. But I threw it all in my car, took it home, and opened it at home with my wife, and was like, I remember like when we weren't getting boxes like this. So I just don't take it for granted. I don't think we don't take any of it for granted. It's like, did I really want half of those Grammy gifts? No, but I remember when when people weren't sending free stuff. So I'll take it, So, but at the end of the day, we're truly, I mean, it sounds cliche, but I think we're both truly about the music and really about just we leave a show and Eric's already like got his headphones listening to the next, you know, like I think we both kind of think like that is, you know, so when there's accolades on top of it, then cool, you know, sometimes it's nice to be acknowledged and maybe good for our egos.
Yeah, well, exactly. It seems like it's an overnight success of the band because you only have had a 4-year lifespan. But behind the scenes, there's been years upon years of honing your craft. That's the only career path you'd ever choose, despite what the accolades are. Eric, you touched on it. I did want to talk about your background because it's very similar to the story of the Australian export Tones and I. She was busking in Byron before she hit absolute stardom. Now she's like, you know, bought up houses all around the world, all that sort of stuff, just by one song, Dance Monkey. It's insane.
Oh,
And I'm curious because I heard that while you were busking on Santa Monica Pier, you were playing songs like Colors there, right? Big Black Puma hits.
yes, most definitely. A lot of, and if I wasn't playing full on Black Puma songs on the pier, I was probably singing some of the same melodies that I've reached back to and some of the same lyrics and concepts that I've reached back to, like, you know, try to put in whatever I could put in my collaboration with such a, you know, renowned musician to a lot of people here in Austin, Texas anyway. And, you know, around the world, I guess, to that degree. And, you know, it's just been so brilliant because I think that, you know, there was a time where I don't know that I believed in myself. I don't know that I believed that this music could carry me. I just, you know, to this height. I just was playing music to, you know, access my own heart and my own feelings, to reciprocate, you know, what I was feeling in the experiences that, you know, were being had. So, you know, I still can't believe it. Like, I mean, I just talked to Danica Patrick the other day, you know, I had to do an interview with Ringo Starr. It's just been absolutely wild to me that when I was playing Colors, people would just walk by, and now, you know, people want to pay me a lot of money to, you know, sing it, and, you know, maybe even say happy birthday to a great uncle or something. It's just it's insane. Yeah.
All right, well, talk to me about Colors specifically. Adrian, do you remember the first time that Eric presented that track to you? Or like at least the lyrics? How did that all happen? What was the starting point to making it into a Black Puma song?
I remember him showing me a SoundCloud link that he had already recorded. I can't remember if it was a full band version or like a version of just him playing on guitar. I had seen a YouTube video of him playing it, and when we got connected via our friend, I like Googled him, of course, you know, and was like watching videos on YouTube, and I saw that he sent me a SoundCloud link, and I definitely, you know, remember my ears kind of perking up, like, oh man. But, you know, it was so early in our collaboration that, you know, we were trying to play it cool and not get too excited. The first time I remember getting complete chills with that song was when the first time we rehearsed it. He showed it to us as a band in our rehearsal. We only rehearsed a few times for our first gig, and I remember him showing us the chords, you know, and we came up with an arrangement. And the first time we played it back was the first time that I remember like this kind of major oh shit moment, you know, to feel it in the room, well, with that energy in real life, you know, it just translated in an incredible way. So yeah, I do remember a few firsts of hearing Colors from him.
It sounds like straight from the get-go, your live performances have been blowing audiences away. Like within 2 weeks, was it, of performing live? You could already feel the buzz of just like an audience growing? There must be some star factor.
As soon as we hit the stage, you know, there were at least, you know, 125 or so people in this intimate C-Boys live room, where probably a lot of the reason why a lot of people came was because of Adrian. But you know, so it felt like an introduction to the city, like a proper introduction to the city of who I am as a performer. And I just remember it going over well enough. The very first show, I think that we both really believed that, you know, with our forces combined, we could really make a go for some really crazy cool things. And, you know, thank God for our management. You know, they've had the vision to, get us what they feel that the project deserves. And so far it's been successful.
How far through the project did you pick up management? Was it from day one? Did you have people on board for that? Or was it after these live shows had gained traction?
After about a month, Ryan Madison, who is our current manager, I had worked with him previously in another band, and I actually didn't reach out to anybody because I just didn't want it to feel like we were playing industry showcases, which we did later in our career, and they're just kind of like, I don't know. I wanted real people in the, like just a real show and like let us develop better and just do it grassroots. And I also just wasn't sure how, I was like, are we going to be good? I think so. I don't know. I was just nervous about it. But Ryan, our current manager, reached out to me. He heard about the band through the grapevine within 2 weeks. He emailed me and was like, what's up with this Black Pumas thing? And I'm like, come by See Boys, have a drink. And I think we started working with him, like 2 months in, Eric, or something like that, right?
Yeah, about.
And he was the first one to, we were having so much fun at See Boys that, all our friends were there and we were getting free drinks, and we'd probably still be playing at See Boys, on every Thursday 4 years later. But I mean, management really helped us get the vision and think long term and like turn down certain gigs that were, they had the long vision that helped us kind of perk up out of our comfort zone on stage at See Boys to really think like, okay, this could actually be a sustaining career choice for us.
It was just cool too, because I think that we both like realized and we observed just what the difference between those earlier videos that Adrian watched on YouTube to like try to get a feel of the kind of performer and or singer that I was. And in many occasions, I was just playing guitar and troubadour style solo, but with the added asset and, blessing really that was the band, I was able to put the guitar down. And I think that we were both really surprised at how elevated the show became once I was able to jump off the stage and the music could keep going,
Yeah. Speaking of the vision of the band, I'm curious, Adrian, because I know you were the one who was kind of hungry to start a new project. Did you come into finding Eric with like a sonic mood board already, or was it kind of like, we'll just see where this goes? Is Black Pumas a sound you set out for? Or were you kind of open-minded in that sense?
A little bit at first, actually, because I had been working on some instrumentals. And that's what originally this collaboration was going to be, was we were just going to do a few songs. And there was a little bit of a sonic stamp already before I met Eric. It so turned out that everything he wrote fit like a glove with it, so that was kind of the serendipity of it all, is that I never told Eric, hey, let's do something that sounds like this, or hey, will you write something like this, or hey, it was just like I just said, hey, here's some tracks, and he was like, check out these songs, and it was just like, it's the first album. So there was some serendipity with the universe, I think there.
I think I was also in a place where I was being contacted by different engineers and producers around at that point, a year and a half into living in Austin. And I was kind of over it because I didn't like the sounds that I was getting. And I started building my own home studio to build what was like a conceptualized solo album. So when Adrian hit me up with the genesis of the sonic quality and what you hear, I just told myself, if I'm going to collaborate with this guy, I'm going to go all in. And so a lot of what I was going to use on a solo project, recorded by myself and then, maybe done again somewhere else. I just took a lot of those ideas to just add into, what Adrian had going. And I'm glad that we did, man. It's been really cool.
Oh yeah. What are your thoughts on your debut record now, retrospectively?
It's interesting because we have this like, it's in this weird way, we're almost kind of competitive with our own first record, like I hear it and I'm like, oh man, we're better than that. But if I don't put the record on, if it comes on in the background and I'm just like completely objectively listening and not like, if I put it on, I'm real harsh with ourselves, you know, particularly with myself on that album and what I could do better. If it comes on in the background somewhere and I can completely objectively listen to it, then I actually really enjoy it. Sometimes I'm like, man, this is dope, you know, but if I put it on, I'm just like, oh God, I want to do, we can do better than that. So it's a weird relationship with it.
Fair enough. Eric, are you the same?
I think that it was, listening to it now, I think that that was the most successful first impression that I've ever had with anyone. Just being introduced to someone, maybe not the, I don't know how to quantify like just meeting people. I mean, I love meeting people and collaborating with people generally, but with Adrian, it just felt like a really special musical kind of connection there. And so when I reflect on the album, that's just it. That's just like, it's kind of like our first date, so to speak, and so I'm just, I'm very encouraged when I listen to the album because I can see where we can be better, and I see how we've evolved together. So, I'm just excited. When I hear back, I get excited because what I believe that what we're creating now is an evolved version of the same experience.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by what you're creating now because Eric, you went through a breakup last year. There's been intense social movements in the States and globally. You've got a new president, which means a whole new era for the US and obviously the pandemic. What is this, like, how do you describe the direction that you're growing into?
I think that at this point, for what has happened, we've all been in a retrograde period, not just the music industry or our productivity thereof. We've been put in such a place where all of our anxieties have been magnified. You see people, breaking up, the divorce rate is skyrocketing, jobs, scarcity for everyone. And so I think that when you don't have much to operate and move with, it implores you to go inward, inwardly. So I think with that, we're just trying to be real. We just want to be real, because who knows, like everyone said that we were going to win record of the year for Colors and it was so relevant and, but at the end of the day, it's, this industry is also a business. And I think that what's important for us is to like have like a consolidated kind of feeling of comfortability within ourselves in our creation of the music, and that just means us having fun, going back to the first time we met and just doing what we did from the beginning, not thinking about the Grammys or whatever, so.
I feel like there's a certain spark that you've got to hold on to.
Definitely. There's just so much more going on in the world right now, aside from music. And so I can say, I should admit that it's been a little bit hard to compartmentalize and, and get to a place where we actually can create with everything that's going on. But, we're excited enough to kind of push through it. So.
Hey, that's valid. Absolutely valid. Is there anything else on the horizon that we should know about?
New music is, and we're little by little starting to chip away at it. Yeah. And I think coming back from the Grammys really kind of put things in perspective too, because it's easy to get swept up in that because we're both competitive people, when you lose to Taylor Swift, and it's easy to feel like, I felt like a little bit kind of questioning our own music and everything. And, it's easy to get swept up in that because there's a lot of adrenaline around that Grammy week when we were out there of like feeling like that's the goal and the end game for it all. And it took me a few days after the Grammys to kind of like, I just went on a long road trip and had to clear the head and was like, that's not why that's amazing. I love to believe me. I love my Grammy would be right here if I had it, but that's not, at the end of the day, that's to create from that point, coming from that point to create any sort of art is just kind of lame. I think it's like the most important thing is that we're feeling it and then other people feel it. And then if it gets to that point, hell yeah, I'm going to take the Grammy, but
the cool thing. Oh, go ahead, Q. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, it just makes you question why you do the music, to have a situation that we went through like that last week.
I think the coolest thing is that with the music to come, for the way that we started, I took a lot of songs that I was going to put on a solo record, and Adrian had started and completed, these instrumentals, and we both came to the table with these, a bag of ideas. And so with that, because we have the time and the space to do what we need to do, like I just, drove to El Paso, Texas, at a place called Sonic Ranch. It's it's the biggest, studio in America regionally. And, I said, hey, we're in this pandemic thing, and no one's really, we're not really able to get together with the entire band to record. That I said, you know what, why don't I just go to the biggest studio in the country really quick and for a vacation and try my hand at producing. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can come up with, extend who I am a little bit and expound upon that. And so I think luckily, we kind of have some similar abilities that the music is kind of encompassing as a unit thereof. And so, yeah.
We love an upskill. How was the producing? How have you gone at that?
It was cool. I mean, it was just like hanging out with your friends, and I was learning how to allow people to be, to be their highest self, their best selves. And it's humbling, because I think being competitive, you want to be able to do anything and everything, kind of be a jack of all trades, but I'm just not the best at playing the keyboard. I'm not the best at doing certain things. And so it was really nice to kind of see different flowers of people and musicians blossom, with this intention, in this intention on a road to somewhere. And I just felt honored that anyone would, be not just willing, but excitable and very ecstatic to follow me, And so for that, I haven't really experienced too much of that. And luckily, I mean, I think Adrian likes some of it. I don't know.
I'm actually, that's what I've been doing kind of the last few days, is going through a bunch of these files, and that he did out there, and really like finding these cool moments that I feel like I'm almost glad that it's sort of, there's been a lot of start and stops to the album because of COVID and our schedule, and the fact that he just went out there and just said, hey, I'm going to do this, and then dropped off a hard drive. Now I'm like, oh man, it's already starting from a different place, and I felt like I have a tendency to sometimes, and I think we all do, you just muscle memory to like fall into your comfort zone and your like wheelhouse, where I feel like because you just dropped off this hard drive, like here's what I did for a week, here's 10 songs in various phases, I'm like, oh man, we're already starting from a different place, which is probably what I needed to get my wheels turning and not start from the same place that I would start, so we're finding this. It's been an interesting sort of way to come back together to work, for this album, because we've evolved as musicians, as producers, and as our relationship evolves,
100%. Sounds reinvigorating. Guys, this has been really humbling. It really sounds like you're just doing it for the people, love of the music, not for the record sales. And it's been an absolute honor to speak to both of you. Really appreciate it.
Buy our record. But you have to buy our, we still want to sell records. So.
Yeah, definitely. I will dye my hair green right now for some record sales if that's what it takes,
Yeah, we're here for the money, guys. Let's go. Got a house. Got to keep a roof over my head.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Anytime. I look forward to our shrimp on the barbie when you get here.
Yeah, definitely.